just like we left you, so. Yeah. Well, it is good to be here. You know, during praise and worship, there was one of the songs that we were first introduced to at another church, and so really it was, and it's a church about the same size as this church, and so I just was enjoying praise and worship all together, but that song, it was like we were all together, that church in Pennsylvania and this church here, so it was exciting. And what I want to do before we really go any further, I do want to draw your attention to the resources, because if I don't, everybody will leave and not take advantage of what's available. We have a Bible cover out there that it's a Bible cover that we appreciate getting out. One of the best things about it is it has our ministry logo on it, and you'll never forget to pray for us. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. They're $10 a piece. And then also, there's a book by Pastor Billy Joe Daugherty called The Power of Your Words. You know, you can be hung by the tongue, you can be tripped by the lip, but you can be loosed from the noose if we lasso the lips. And that's what we need to do. Lasso those lips. So there is power in your words. A lot of people wonder about their words, but I've heard people say, you know, I'm so broke I can't pay attention. Well, you know what? That just shows kind of a whole attitude that's going on there. So we need to get a hold of our words. And then there's also another book by Pastor Billy Joe that we're excited about getting out there. You know, we are losing a generation. And we're only as good as our next generation. The church is given the Great Commission to go into all the world and preach the gospel. But we're also given that commission to pass it on to the next generation. And so Pastor Billy Joe wrote a book called Raising Champion Children for God. It's time to get a hold of the kids and now, and not wait until they're teenagers and then pray and come to the pastor and say, what happened? And so I encourage you to take advantage of these resources that are available. How many of you have heard of Jay Sekulow? Okay, who Jay Sekulow is he has the American Center for Law and Justice, and what he does is he goes to the Supreme Court and he fights a lot of battles on behalf of the Christians. And you'll see him a lot of times on CBN. His law partner is Stuart Roth, and Stuart Roth has the American Center for Faith and Freedom. And what he did was he had heard about what we were doing over in St. Petersburg, Russia. For those of you who don't know, we're over there working with street children, with children that are from families that are dysfunctional. Stuart Roth heard about this, and so he wanted to document what we were doing over there. So he paid for a camera crew, he paid for their airline tickets, their hotels, all their food, their transportation. He paid for the entire project, and he paid for them to go over there and document what we're doing over in St. Petersburg. And so that's what we want to go ahead and show you at this time. And if we can pull that up, and we're ready to go. Someone can turn the lights down, please.
Just go ahead and click on that icon where it says MICAIAH. There you go.
I was living on the streets. It happened because of my parents. They died. My sister put me into an orphanage. I didn't like that place because I was living in a dormitory and I was beaten up. So I ran away. I was hanging out with my friends, I was sniffing glue, and I was begging for money. I was living in the basements. When you wake up in the morning, you think only about where to get food and where to get glue. That's it. There is no good in this life.
They're facing malnutrition, literal starvation at times, the harsh temperatures. People walk by them every day and call them garbage. They say that they'll never amount to anything. The kids need to eat, so they beg, they steal, they sell their bodies.
There are a lot of kids on the streets. A lot. The kids, they run away from the shelters because they do not like these places. Then on the streets, they meet with drugs.
Some of them have health problems. Some have problems with drugs, with alcohol. Kids who are on the streets, they have got a lot of problems. Every day they have new problems. One time, I tried to jump out of the window. Another time, cut my wrists. I even tried to cut my throat.
He told my associate, he said, I waited to die. I laid there and I tried to die, but I couldn't die. The reason he couldn't die is because I believe that God's got a plan for their lives. A plan for Vadek's life.
We pursue them by going to the places where they are. When we go there, then we help to supply food for them, clothing for them.
What if somebody offered you help? Would you accept that help?
Ты бы приняла эту помощь? This would mean a lot to me if somebody would give it to me such a help like this. This is such a painful subject for me to talk about.